this platform. We offer free listing and 24/7 storefront management services for African MSMEs across the continent. Again, these MSMEs are able to sell to anywhere and everywhere in Africa and to the world at large. The platform provides logistics support services for both producers and consumers to use this platform. It has, Honorable Mr. My technical team, can you just show me the platform now? It has an inbuilt multi-currency platform and functionality that ensures that a buyer on the platform is able to conveniently purchase and do a transaction in any currency that he or she wants and wishes to trade in or transact in. At this moment, Honorable Minister, I would wish to, with your indulgence, do a short presentation on the platform by taking us through just a number of processes. First of all, I would focus on how an MSME would be able to create a storefront on the platform. Then I will go through just a simple process of a consumer having to have come on the platform and be able to do a purchase and do a payment for a transaction. Then I would proceed to demonstrate how delivery after a transaction has happened on the platform would work from our logistic partners, moving goods from the consumer, from the supplier to the consumer, and then finally we'll look at how the whole transactions ends in phase. As I wait for the technical team to shoot the platform on our screen so that we can walk through together with me. Whilst waiting, Honorable Minister, what we provide for MSME is that an MSME, when it gets onto this platform, is able to sign up for a free storefront by just filling a simple application form. This application form is received at our back-end office at Trade Africa Online, and we do what we call verification. It is important because we want to ensure that not only the MSME that is registering on the platform a Ghanaian business or an African business, but indeed that MSME is also manufacturing an African product. So our designated officials visit the supplier's premises, does all this verification, and assist the supplier to be able to. Thank you very much, my team. Okay, so on your screen now is the Trade Africa Online platform, which has a number of uploaded products from a number of suppliers and manufacturers across the continent. It has been neatly arranged and categorized for ease of use and access. And just to go back to what I was illustrating, so once an MSME hits on this platform, this MSME is able to click on a button and then fill a sign-in form. Quite pretty simple sign-in form, which enables the MSME to submit this and be received at our end. Can I have the form, the MSME registration form? Okay. So this is the simple form which would be filled by the MSME. After submission, we receive the application, we process the application. I've already said that we do a verification to ensure that the person who says he's selling this cosmetics or this product is indeed the actual manufacturer of that particular product, and then it is an African product based on the rules of origin of AfCFTA. We do, after verification, we approve of the application and assign an administrative right to the MSME, which enables the MSME to manage his or her own storefront and upload his or her own product. But what we do at Trade Africa Online is that we provide this technical support, so a designated officer will be assigned to assist, considering the fact that not all of us are technically inclined, so that they would assist them to upload whatever products that they need to upload onto it. So we coach them, guide them, and then be able to give them that opportunity to manage the platform on their own. Now, when this is done, the products are now available to the rest of the world to be able to do a purchase. So on this note, Honorable Minister, I will just demonstrate how goods are purchased by a consumer. So visit the platform as a consumer. I have an option, either if I know the product that I'm looking for, just use the search functionality of the platform and then search for that product I'm looking for, or browse through the number of product organizations that is available on the platform and then go to select a particular product that I am interested in. So for purposes of demonstration, I want to buy a Jeba hair product. Okay, so once I click on the product, it gives me the details of the product, including the description, the price, the origin of the product. Because this is a continental platform, every product you would see where it's coming from, whether it's Egypt or Ghana or Ethiopia or Zimbabwe. And then I have an opportunity to see the price and then how many of the quantities I want. Sometimes I want to purchase one item and I click to add it to my cart. The consumer at this moment is able to go through a number of processes by following the screen and going through the various list of items. At a point, the consumer will be asked to select the preferred payment option that he or she wants to use, and pin. Okay, so proceed. So at this moment, this consumer has selected the product, indicated the quantity he wants, the information that, this is the designated information that he wants the product to be shipped to. He continues to complete the transaction. He chooses his preferred shipping option, whether to pick it up at the Trade Africa Online shop or want to ship by our logistic partner, in this case DHL and other logistic partners. Please proceed. Continue, please. Okay. Once he selects, the shipping has been checked, the address has been checked, he then decides on the payment option that he wants to use at this moment. Honorable Minister, for purposes of time, the consumer has an option to use credit card payment or to pay by Momo wallet. So I'm just going to initiate a payment. Proceed, please. No. Change to, I'm not paying by card, I want to pay by mobile money. Okay. Then agree and then proceed, please. Technical team, can you? Okay. I want to be able to complete the transaction via my Momo. So, okay. So I would select my payment option, enter my credit card details, if that is what I have the option here, or to provide the Momo wallet. Once I provide my mobile money account, I will receive a one-time payment, and the essence of it is that the system wants to validate that it is actually an individual, a human being that is doing the transaction, and then once I certify that it should proceed to do the payment, my mobile money wallet is credited, and then transaction is completed. When this transaction is completed, for want of time, Honorable Minister, an alert system is activated and sent to 3 individuals. One to the Trade Africa online secretariat, which would receive the transaction, then to the MSME or the supplier that manufactures and uploaded the products on the platform, and then to the consumer who is doing the purchase of that particular transaction. And this is to help us also to facilitate the delivery process. We then get in touch with our delivery and logistics provider, in this case DHL or any of the last mile logistics service providers, and they are able to then help us to package and submit to the shipping authority for shipment and to delivery to the destination that is supposed to be delivered to. Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the Trade Africa online platform, which has been developed to support the implementation of AfCFTA in its implementation. Thank you for this opportunity. And in concluding, just to say that it is important, and we've seen the impact of how the e-commerce and this platform will support the operationalization and implementation of the AfCFTA trade arrangement. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Speed and convenience brought to you by, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Trade Africa Online, the Chief Operations Officer, Mr. Kweku Nsia Mensu. A round of applause. I can tell you confidently that the technical hitches were as a result of the non-acknowledgement of the gods. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, ladies and gentlemen, the board chair is here. Mr. Peter McMenu, a round of applause. And the Director General, Mr. Michael Luguje. So next time you might want to acknowledge them before. Everything will be seamless. And so, they must under AfCFTA. This will be done by a technical advisor to the Ministry of Trade and Industry, which
Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, Chief Executives of private agencies and businesses, I'm here to speak to you briefly about this free trade area agreement. Before listening to various presentations, at least we are aware now that indeed for the businessman, he would want them in for me. My normal business, I'm probably or shipping to some country. Some research to better understand the market. Into African markets, what we Africa at this moment. Africa is pregnant, so I would safely assume that what a general electrical equipment, food, pharmacy. We have learned that the worth of 500 billion US dollars. So this broken product which come into Africa, we can see the fuels majority. And of course, the fuels power the mechanical appliances, the cars, the vehicles, and so on. Okay, so those who are in that sector, we already that. And we have food also taking a very large chunk. Pharmaceuticals have mentioned, but also precious metals, stones, paperboard, and so on. So generally, if Africa brings in these items, then for us operating from Ghana, what is there that we can do into Africa? Is there something we are doing already that we can diversify and go much better into the African market? So let's look at what Ghana is already exporting into Africa. Next slide. No, back. Yes. Okay, so over 200 products that we have in various parts of the world. So for Africa, we have several of these. But we'll just look at the top 16 that is showing on your screen. So we have a list of the top 16 products, how much value each of those 16 products bring us in terms of foreign exchange. And then in the middle, we see what Africa is exporting, is importing for products. Then we can tell which of the Ghanaian products are already in Africa and where Africa is getting it from. Now, if you look at this carefully, we will see that the first column shows what Ghana is sending into Africa. The last column shows what Ghana is sending into the world, generally. So the observation is that most of what Ghana is sending into Africa is really all that Ghana is sending into the world already, with the exception of cocoa. So what this tells us is that Ghanaian exports into Ghana, which are mostly made up of manufacturers, are really what Ghana is almost 100% sending into Africa. So what we learn from this is that it is our manufacturing sector, which is actually our main weapon, our main strength in going into Africa. Because really, everything we manufacture here that we export ends up in the African market anyway, except cocoa, of course. So from the figure, you see the figure for cocoa somewhere there. You can see that Ghana is exporting, 2,700, it's a million. So that is 2 billion US dollars. But only 52 million goes into Africa, which means the rest goes elsewhere. But the others, they are almost the same. What we export out is the same thing that Africa, also gets, and it's the same that, we are taking. So that we should take the manufacturing sector as number one. In all this talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, it is the manufacturing sector in terms of physical products. The other interesting thing is, look at the volumes and the values of what Africa is taking. Plastics is the team leader. 21 billion US dollars is what Africa takes in, every year of plastics. Of which Ghana, we are doing 200 million, but look at the gap between that and what Africa imports. It means there's room for much, much, much more that we can do. And the same goes for all the products. So though we are doing well, the market there is far bigger than what we are doing already. So the question is, where do these products go? Which countries in Africa are buying them, and where can we begin to target our contact making and our penetration? For lack of time, we just selected some products to illustrate. So for the plastics, for instance, which we said Africa is taking over 21 billion US dollars. The main importing markets are Egypt, South Africa, Morocco, Algeria, and then neighboring Nigeria. Most of our plastics from Ghana end up in Burkina Faso, but it didn't appear yet because the quantity and the value is smaller. It's not yet up to 1 billion. But it's a start. So plastics, we are talking here not about the household plastics alone, but the industrial plastics as well. The high-density polyethylene pipelines, used for drinking water pipelines, and all those industrial plastics is what really we are talking about. And then fats and oils. Africa takes 8 billion. The main importers, again, it's Egypt, Algeria, South Africa, Kenya, Morocco, and then down the line. Again, the fats and oils, here is where we have the coconut oil, the palm oil, the soya oil, and also margarine. Then some of the lesser known oils and fats, that possibility is there for us to expand. And then footwear. That is very interesting, because many of the shoes we are wearing were made right here in Ghana, but because we want to say it's from Italy, it's from Germany, it's from somewhere, we don't recognize. But we are indeed a stronghold for manufacture of footwear. Now, the interesting thing is we've been getting our leather from Brazil, from elsewhere, but there is big possibility to get a leather from other parts of Africa. They also have the cattle, they make the leather, and then countries nearby them import leather more expensively from elsewhere. So this AfCFTA would enable us to get our leather from within Africa, make the footwear right here, and then sell back to paperboard. Here we call it cardboard, but it's referring to our packaging material, the tissues, the toilet rolls, and so on. We make a lot of them here, and we sell to Africa as well. Again, our exports is lesser than these figures we are seeing, but we have a foothold into African markets. The giants who are importing now, Egypt, South Africa, Algeria, Morocco, and neighboring Nigeria. Okay, so 7.6 billion is what is there to take, and we would be able to expand our manufacturing capacity and take a chunk of that. Cocoa products, I didn't say cocoa beans like we saw, the beans are going elsewhere. So it is the value added, the powder, the cake, the chocolate is what is showing up here as what is ending up in Africa. We are not yet very highly a middle class continent, okay, so we are not too much chocolate consumers. But as the continent develops and expands, the middle class expands, chocolate consumption also expands. But at the mass level, we have other forms of chocolate, drinking chocolates, like the Milo, the Bonvitas, and all those, which are what we could be focusing on. And then the homemade chocolate mass, which also be good for the small-scale entrepreneurs. And then iron and steel. We have put a very strong foothold into iron and steel market, and we are taking the continent by storm. This has a very, very huge potential, because like we saw, we're already importing a lot of mechanical appliances, and as we move further forward, we want to be manufacturing most of these right here in Ghana. And at the base of it is iron and steel. Other countries will be wanting to do the same from Ghana. We are through with which country takes what product and so on. The thing we want to ask ourselves is, these top importers, where are they found? Now you can see they are all found on the coast of Africa. So the interesting lesson we can infer from this is that alarming about how the goods physically get there, because each of the top importers have a harbor. So we can ship in bulk by sea and then transfer onto the multimodal system to penetrate the interior. It's just by, not coincidence, that throughout history, these countries, because of their ports, have grown to become marketplaces and have grown to become the big trading hubs that they are. So we'll start to go by sea and then continue the journey by road. We've listed here the top importing countries, and you could see when we reflected which product was going, you could see it was always Morocco or Algeria or South Africa. So they are the top importers, including Ghana. Ghana is number 8 here, meaning that even as we sit here, other countries are looking at this same slide, looking at Ghana as a possibility also to send products in here. Okay, so that is the game continent-wide. But the interesting thing is we can target our promotion towards these markets and start bulk shipment by sea. Now, another interesting observation is that already we have Africa, which is made up of trade blocks. And just as everybody is more familiar with their immediate neighbor, traders in Africa are trading amongst themselves more than with others. So we have ECOWAS. So as we are beginning the AfCFTA, definitely strategically we should strengthen and deepen our presence in ECOWAS. That is our immediate neighbor. Our manufacturing sector, like I said, is the foot we are taking forward. Fortunately, Ghanaian manufactured products are very much respected already within ECOWAS. So this is where we should strengthen with a lot of resources and make sure that we are actually expanding our market presence within ECOWAS and then to the other parts of Africa. So what strategies are we going to use to go forward? We've just seen mentioned this morning by our Honorable Minister that we should not go forward as large-scale companies and leave the smaller companies behind. We should all move together and block. And so these strategies have to be able to take care of every size of company, big, medium, small, whatever. And so what we have to say is that for those who are very small, you do not need to directly export to get into these countries because these are new markets. The terrain is difficult. It's going to cost much more money than a seasoned exporter. So for the small exporters, we want to advise in exporting. CAP seem to create and go as a group. There are structures that have been put in place, export development strategy to enable groups, producers, MSMEs pull together and ship to export houses. So export houses will bulk and aggregate and use their strength to do this market penetration to Africa. For the bigger companies, we recommend a physical presence in the marketplace. Yes, the production is in Ghana, but as a market strategy, acquire a subsidiary in the markets we are targeting, set up a factory there, or open a shop front there, or open a branch office there, so you are physically present over there. That is a strategy that has been used and tested successfully. And we give many examples. Right here in Ghana, we've seen Coca-Cola here, we've seen MTN here, we've seen so many giants, who are right here. They are not in their headquarters, shipping across the seas to bring. They are right here in the market. So this is what we recommend, that those who are able to there into the African continent and set up there. The smaller ones we group and aggregate together to be able to ship as a group. Whatever it is, the key word is to get closer to the customer. Because when you are close to the customer, then you understand better what the customer wants. You can better be able to decide what exactly you want to do. The e-commerce that has just been talked about is a very good, method and strategy that will do very well for some of the products that are able to be packaged and sent quickly by air or otherwise. And for companies, the SMEs, the e-commerce offers a very good first point to be able to go. Many of the products are sellable as well online. So whatever it is, each business will decide what you want to do. At the beginning is the information, the market research, and then the decision to enter a particular market, and then one of these strategies will do. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our mantra is get closer to the customer. For Ghana, let's get into the other countries, have a presence in there, and be known and become a household name inside there. So that is where I would end this presentation. But for a short time, we cannot go into details. What I would recommend is the product associations, the industry captains who are here, let's have other forums with sector-specific, to deep know prices. Now we're seeing which country takes what. We need to know what the prices are. We need to know which companies in those markets are actually the ones who are buying, and then how can we make contacts with them. Another recommendation you see are those in Northern Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and so on. We haven't traditionally dealt with that sector much. So my appeal to the trade promotion organizations is to now let's target our trade promotion to that sector to make sure that those countries there become targets for our promotional efforts, because they are also the biggest importers in Africa. Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and so on and so forth, and then the Southern Africa should be our targets. Thank you very much.
And so one more time, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for all our presenters. And thank you, Mr. Gerald Nyakumensa, for that very revealing presentation. In fact, this is where I would like us all to give a round of applause to Ghana Export Promotion Authority. They have been doing a yeoman's job through their export school to reorient the current crop of exporters in Ghana. Mr. Sandy Osiajima, we thank you together with your team. Talked about us prioritizing manufacturing. You don't know how excited you make the president of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana feel. Mr. Samson Awingobe joins us. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for him. And although he would like to give us a lecture on his behalf, it will be done by the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who has some remarks to share on. Please welcome Mr. Clement Osei Amoako.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Honorable Minister of MOTI, Mr. Alan Kojo Tremantin, the Deputy Minister, Mr. American Lindsay, Captains of Industry, CEOs, the Managing Director of Ghana Commercial Bank. I came with a prepared speech, but looking at what our earlier speakers have said, I think I'll go straight to issues that were mentioned. When we talk about market, and for that matter, aftermarket is a market that has about 1.2 billion population that we're going to trade with. Hitherto in Ghana here, we're trading among ourselves, and what we're doing as in the form of export was not enough. So you look at it, then we didn't have enough market to trade with. But we're limiting everything to ourselves. Here is a situation where we have such a big market, opportunity and challenges. Now, somebody can sit in Nigeria and knows what is happening in Ghana and the rest of the continent in terms of pricing of products and services, and so can take advantage of the market. We're talking about a market where we have the demand and supply to meet. Now, we want to look at the gaps, areas that we can harness the opportunity by looking at our comparative advantage. At this time when we are producing for such a market, when we have other countries also competing with us, it comes with a time that we have to look at the standard of goods that we have to produce at the market, the packaging. Everything comes into being as to what is really demanded by our members outside or within the continent. I was speaking to one of my brothers and, in the Association of Ghana Industry, and we're talking about pricing. Now we have the Francophone countries being supported, and to be very competitive in such a market, you have to look at the pricing. When you don't have a good price, you either become a price taker, because then whatever will be put on you would have to follow. But in a situation where we have some support in the form of stimulus package to help us to produce at a lesser cost, then we can enjoy the economies of scale where we can produce at a lower cost, very competitive. Honorable Minister, we want to look at how the captains of industry can have a further meeting with you as to how best we can have some form of stimulus package to be very competitive. Otherwise, we'll go to the market and come back. And when we do that, it will affect the economy. We cannot create jobs, and the future will not be as significant as we are all looking at. I had some few meetings with Honorable Minister of Trade, and I saw how he was determined to get this done, to the extent of even spending most of his private time to make sure that this becomes a reality. And he told me that, look, this is the eye of the president. And so for us as captain of the industries, we will certainly need to work hand in hand with them and make sure that we succeed. Honorable Minister, I want to assure you that we are going to build the capacity of our members, and so that when they get into the market, they'll be very competitive and bring something home. I'm happy when we heard of the market data I think that when you are going to the market, you want to know the statistics. What are the demand there? Where do you produce? That with the e-commerce has said a lot as to the information that we will do. We captains of industry will work very hard and make sure that we become very competitive. Look at the information there for our members and let them take advantage of the market. On this note, we want to thank you for the opportunity given us and making this a rarity. Thank you so much.
We thank you ever so much. The President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Clement Osei-Amoako, speaking on your behalf and on behalf of all members. Bringing this session to a close, pleasure to invite for the closing remarks the Minister of Trade and Industry. Please make welcome the Honorable Alan Kojo Shemating.
Distinguished invited guests, when exercise that we've had. The real forum is first to do that indeed the trading in Ghana had already commenced. Secondly, there was an opportunity to bring to your notice and attention the process flow for export to any part of Africa, and indeed also to import from other parts of the continent. We also sought to introduce to you the electronic platform that will allow particularly small and medium enterprises trading. Last but not the least, also we wanted to give you a sense of the opportunities. I think that is very revealing from the market analysis, is that what we think in Ghana, that we don't have the variety of products at exports to the world. We take processed cocoa and cocoa beans. Literally every export that is really to the rest of the continent. It does show you that a real competitiveness of Ghana lies in the African and I think that this ought to give you a sense of hope that AfCFTA can indeed be an transformation for the Ghanaian economy. So as we down the curtain on this business forum, let me thank all of you for spending time to pressed in terms of your time. So thank you very much. And then the Minister of Trade and Industry, other are all ready and prepared to support you. Thank you and God bless.